I think most of our trouble comes because we've gotten away from something that's perfectly natural. The process of thinking itself gets in our own way. Now, if I were to take an object, let's say a pencil, I can say that there are two ends in the middle to the pencil, or just, let's say, two ends. But then if I were to take the ends apart and say, well, the pencil is made out of two ends joined together, it would seem pretty foolish. But that's really what we do when we analyze things. And as in some cases, the analysis can be helpful, but it's not a final word on things. I could take a card and say, well, it had four sides. And therefore, if you take it, have enough sides, you can make a card. We're analyzing it into sides. Now, the interesting thing about the theory of process is that it emphasizes from the beginning the wholeness. And I don't think any science does that. The wholeness of the pencil, or the wholeness of the card, or the wholeness of a person is something we know how to deal with in life, and we do it without thinking. It's when we analyze and then we say, well, we can reduce it to parts, we get into somewhat the absurdity that I get into when I say the pencil is made out of two ends. Now, if we think of process that way as something that's a whole before it's the parts, well, I want a banana, so I take it and eat it. That's the end of it. But if I analyze that, there are a lot of steps there. And similarly with process, I want to get to a goal. What are the steps that I have to go through? When you recognize that, you realize the steps are defined by the whole, not just you put the steps together and you get the process. So this makes it necessary to look at what is the focus in process, what is the central issue. The central issue is to get to a goal. And then everything else falls in place. These stages that we talk about in process are to get means to get to the goal. Like I might have the process of making a sword. Well, I have to get the steel, and I have to get the tools, and all of these. Then I have to form the steel into the sword. Now, I'm not really finished until the sword becomes a useful object. I mean, the true goal would be because I wanted to use the sword for something. So we mustn't get stuck halfway through by talking about the means to an end, the end being one of the means. You could have the same thing about building a house. You need material, you need a plan, you need to put the material together according to the plan, and then you get the house. But you haven't got to your goal with the house. You're going to live in it, you're going to raise a family. So there's more to it than just the object. Hence, the arc. The arc shows that what happens after you get the object is to use it for some goal that's not in the object, but is in you, for which the object is a means.
Could you describe life that way?
Life is just that way. It's doing what we would be doing if we were life. I mean, a small creature is going through that process. If we can watch the small creature doing it, we might understand how we're doing it. But because we're doing the thinking, we've forgotten about our own goal. And that's what science has helped us forget, or charmed us into forgetting, that we do have a goal.